Welcome, Olivia. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Jennifer.
So, as we get to know you and our membership gets to learn a little bit more about you, I wonder if you could start off by introducing yourself, your name, your background, and a little bit about your interest in the social work profession.
Sure. So I'm Olivia Monahan. I'm a senior BSW student at Monmouth University. I'm currently the president of the Social Work Society. It's an organization that I've been involved in since my sophomore year. I really, really like this society. It really drives home a lot of the NASW's social work values. We try our best to engage students in the social work profession. We turn a lot to the freshmen and try and get them involved and get them interested in social work and a lot about what Monmouth's program is about. And I think a lot of that reflects some of what this MSW position at NASW is going to be like, in my opinion. I think, kind of bridging some of these gaps in terms of service and wanting to reach out to the community and looking for, places where we can improve as social workers and giving to the community. And then just a little personal note, reasons why I got into social work. So at a very young age, my mother passed away, and I was fortunate enough to receive a lot of, outreach from some of the counselors at my school and get into therapy and really explore, what it's like to receive those services. And on my end, I want to be able to give that back in the same way that I had received it. I also have been involved in the diabetes community since I've been 10. I've had it since I've been 10. I really like exploring the components of, mental health care along with physical health care and how they kind of go side by side. I really like the idea of, intersectionality and, not seeing one person as just one aspect of their personality, that it's kind of just everything is enmeshed, and, you don't want to view a person as just one particular identity. And I think that feeds into a lot of my approach to my social work career in the future. I want to see people as who they are, a holistic point of view, really just looking at the person as one big web of systems. And I think that's important as we move towards the future of social work and looking at the future students and how that reflects off of, the older generations. We want to make sure we're moving forward in the sense that, we're kind of looking at what's happened in the past, what's worked, what hasn't worked, moving forward. And that's kind of, my approach and my passion to social work.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing about yourself and, what inspired you to get involved in the profession. You talked a little bit about your interest in, bringing your expertise and your passions into the role of the MSW rep within NASW New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if you could expand a little bit upon that. If you had, 2 or 3 key things that you'd like to see the organization accomplish while you serve on the board, what might those be?
Sure. I think the biggest and the most encompassing is really just harboring that connection between the board that already exists on NASW full of professionals and reaching out to the students and seeing what they want and how they can kind of feed off of each other. I think this is really important in terms of what's going on with COVID, and as we try and navigate the, returning to normalcy, if you will. And, from my experience with students both being one and seeing the younger generations and how they're affected as they're moving into college and getting used to it, they need a lot of support. And I think it's a lot more than what we had anticipated as we started moving towards putting things back in person, just the expectations of students. And, social work in itself is not an easy profession. There's a lot of emotions that you need to bring to the table, a lot of things you need to compartmentalize, and it's a lot on top of the COVID component. And I think both as students and professionals, we've realized that. And I think my most important and my biggest priority is really just allowing that space for me as the representative to be able to hear the students out and provide that feedback to the professionals and see what they can do with that, and then vice versa. Other than that, I think just really expanding the educational opportunities that the NASW gives to students. I think a lot of that has kind of been lost, as we've gone into virtual things and stuff like that. And the NASW has so much to offer in terms of, seminars and programs and resources. And I think a lot of that is what students can benefit from as they transition from the school-based social work into their professional lives. And I think having the NASW as a resource is very, very important to these students.
Great, thank you so much. Is there anything else you would like our community to know about you and your background and why you chose to run for this position?
Sure. Honestly, I was honored by this position by one of my professors, and the NASW is something that has always interested me, something that I've had increased involvement with, over the past year or two. And like I said before, the professional opportunities that the NASW has to offer are so important. And I want to not only personally be involved in those, but be able to share those resources to my fellow students and other social workers that I meet, and just be able to expand on, my toolkit and things like that. And I just, any opportunity that I have, even just, this interview itself is just a step forward in the direction of, expanding the tools that I have that I can give to other social workers or other people that I meet. So it's the most important part for me.
Thanks so much, Olivia. It's great to get to know a little bit more about you and why you chose to run and your connection with the social work profession. I just want to thank you so much for your raising your virtual hand and volunteering. Our association is only as strong as our volunteer leadership. And we love that we've got both professionals and seasoned professionals and new professionals and students that are willing to serve on our board. And I'm just grateful that you are committed to the association, the profession, and that you are willing to raise your hand and potentially serve the chapter. So thank you so much for your time and all of the energy you bring to the space.
Thank you very much.